joining. This is Thursday, the second Thursday of the month, August 14th. If you are watching that after this, it's no longer live. We are doing the quilt block of the month. Yay! Every second Thursday of the month, we do a new quilt block. I love this video. It's so fun doing these quilt blocks. I've had such a good time. The quilt block we're doing today is a little bit, not intense, but it's just a little bit more than what we've been doing. We're trying to up it each time. And we are aware, I forget what this one's called too. Oh my gosh. Susan, if you hop on here, remind me what this quilt block is called. We are aware there are multiple ways to make this design. I am going to show you the way that works for the size of blocks we're doing and for accuracy. You got a little bit more leeway for, accuracy on this one. Hi guys. Melissa, April, and Annette. Hello. Okay, so today's block, if Susan ever hops on here, she'll tell me what this design is. It has a name. This is today's block, guys. I just finished this one. Kind of love it. It's hard to see with the light. Maybe if I put it up like that. There we go. How about a double wedding ring? Oh my goodness, Bonnie. I know what a double wedding ring is, and that's intense. I love this design. You could do it lots of different ways too. If you wanted to make this center block solid, or, the 5 off block solid and just do the squares on one. Like, there's different ways you can do this design. But this is what we're doing today. And I wish Susan would hop on here and tell me the name of it. That's okay. We'll figure it out throughout this video. So I'm going to tell you what you need to make this. I forgot to put that down in the description. I'll do that after the video is done. I promise. Susan and I were saying how we would love to do a whole quilt with just this square design because it's a fun one to make. All right, so this is what we're going to do today. Let's do it. So you need 2.5, oh, my iron. Don't turn off on me. You need 2.5-inch squares and 4.5-inch squares, okay? So you kind of want, I don't know, just think about the colors of your, materials and how you want it to look. Either, a print and a solid or a dark and a light, some kind of contrast on this one. Think about the layout of that. So for me, I did my solids, the smaller 2.5-inch squares, and my prints, the bigger 4.5-inch squares. You could do this with triangles. It's harder to get as accurate. The way we're doing it today, you do cut off on each one, but you can get better points this way if you're not an expert, like I'm not an expert. You could also do foundation paper piecing with this. Like I said, there's multiple ways to do this style of block. So, I'm aware of that. All right, to start, I have 16 of one. This is 2.5-inch. And I have 20 of another that is 2.5-inch. So 16 and 20. 2.5-inch. And then for the bigger squares, I have 4 of one print. So this print's going to go with the pink, the 16 pink. And then I have 5 of another print, and that's going to go with the 20 of the gray. Okay, so 2.5, 4.5. Again, we are doing these quilt blocks, so all of them end up to be 12.5 by 12.5. So when we're designing what quilt blocks we're going to do, we have to figure out how to get the end result to be 12.5 by 12.5. So that's why we have these certain measurements. You could make this bigger. You can make it smaller. Totally up to you. But the way we're doing this quilt blocking series is they're all ending up 12.5 by 12.5. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do some chain piecing. It is the quickest, easiest way to do this block. And I am going to draw on my pieces. I haven't done that yet. I'll chat while I draw the center line. I watched a video where the lady had tape on her machine that she followed with the point of her block so she didn't have to draw on each one of them. I tried that. Not my jam. I had a really hard time doing that. So I'm going to draw on mine. So all that I need to do is draw a diagonal line on each of these to sew down. That's it. Like, we're just going to do that real quick on this video. I should have grabbed a regular pen because I don't want to draw all these and have it fade. And then we're going to get rocking on this. I think it's going to be a fun block. I have my iron set up right here, ready to go, and 2 cameras. So I'm going to turn on this other camera. When I need perfection, I draw my seam allowance. Yeah, like I figured I'd rather be safe than sorry on this one. So I'm going to be drawing my seam allowance, and yeah, you get it, Annette. Okay, we're going to switch down to this camera, and you guys let me know how this angle is. If you need it closer to the sewing machine, I can do that. And then this camera, we're going to change this camera to be by my iron. Okay. Thank you. Kansas Star. That is it. This is the Kansas Star. Thank you, Annette. All right, so I'm going to start with my pink blocks. I just have my handy dandy ruler here. I've got a pen. I've got a couple pairs of scissors, and I have some clips. I think bag making has ruined me. All I like to do is use clips anymore. I'm like, oh, what are these straight pens? So I will be clipping when I need to. These pretty much stay in place. There's not much, when you put them together, they kind of stay. You don't really have to clip them much. So I'm just drawing my diagonal on all of my little 2.5. Hi, sister. Phone a friend. Thank you. Okay, we're just going to sit here. Draw our cute little lines down. And again, shout out to the Sister Susan who organized the block for the month and told me what to do. So shout out to Sue. You're awesome. So Susan and I are getting ready for a Sewing the States trip. We are flying into, I just talked to her, so I should be able to get this all right. We are flying into Connecticut, and then we are sewing in Rhode Island, and then we are sewing in Massachusetts. So we're super excited. And I just realized that we might be by the area where Gilmore Girls was filmed. Am I correct? Does anybody know that? I need to look it up. I haven't looked it up yet, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be around Gilmore Girls territory. So I think there's like a little faux Stars Hollow type town. We're totally doing that. We are totally doing that. I'm so excited. It's going to be a fun trip. You live in Nashua, but commute to Boston twice a week. That's awesome, Allie. Nashua. You know what I think of when I hear Nashua? The Office. Isn't that where Holly goes to work in Nashua? Too many show references going on. I'm afraid the ink's going to get on my stuff. Maybe I should use a sewing safe pen, huh? Yeah, am I right? Oh, when she leaves Scranton and goes to Nashua. So funny. All right. I'm like, are these blocks correct? Oh, that's a little off. Why is that? These two blocks are a little off. I noticed that. Let me cut these down real quick. These are like just 1/8 of an inch more than they need to be. Hold, please. We don't want that. Hopefully they're not all like that. I cut these all out this morning, so. You thought the same thing? Sisters. I'm going to check my other blocks real quick just to make sure. This one's a little crooked too. What did I do? It must have moved when I cut it. The other ones look right. Let me double check all my blocks. Yes. Okay. Yeah. That one's a little off too. Guys, what did I do? Okay. I think the rest are good. All right, here we go. So we're going to chain piece these together. So I'm going to take my big block here. Okay. And I'm just going to lay this in one corner. Just like that. And I want my line to be going that way. I'm going to sew from corner to corner on my line. And then I'm just going to put them all through. Okay. So here we go. Let me know. Let me zoom in. I can zoom in just a little bit. That might be helpful. There. And then I'm just going to not even take that out. I'm going to take the next one, do the same thing. Place it right there. Oh, can you see? Right there. And here we go. When I started quilting, I got an AccuQuilt cutter because I couldn't keep consistent cuts to save my life. Usually I'm pretty good at the cutting part. I think I was trying to do too many at once, was my problem. You know. Pretty much just gonna do this a lot. This is what our block is. Okay, after you do those ones, you're gonna take it. Let me separate them. Okay, so they all look like this currently. So now we're just gonna go to this corner. And we're gonna place our next one like that. You want your diagonal lines to be going the same way, okay? So now I'm going to sew down this corner. And then after that, we will trim and iron and then do the other two. easy. I mean, this is pretty much all we're doing. Kind of like that. I could do a whole quilt like this for sure. All right, so after you have those done, we're gonna take it over to our iron that keeps turning off on me. Okay. Now, all we need to do is trim our corners here that we sewed the accent piece on down to 1/4 inch here, just like that. Okay. And I'm going to iron and then fold those out. You could even do quilt blocks like this. That would be super cute. I'm sure that's a pattern somewhere. But that's what we have. And then we're going to be sewing on the next 2 ones on these 2 corners. That's it. Pretty easy. Just takes a hot second. And like I said, there are multiple ways, to do a block like this. This is just how we're doing it for our level of quilting and the size that we end up with. This is what works the easiest for us. You know, I could always take a rotary too and do all that, but I just figured for just the 1 block, scissors would suffice. All right, so now I have 4 quilt blocks like that. Okay, so now let's sew on the other corners. So we're going to take this, and now we're going from this corner to this corner right here. And we're going to do that on all of them. Yeah, quilting is super enjoyable, somewhat therapeutic. There's something about making these pretty looking squares. I kind of love it. Every time I sit down at my sewing machine to do these quilt blocks of the month, I'm like, oh yeah, I really like this. I'm excited to put it all together when we're all finished. Oh, hi, Okie. Hi, Okie. Hi, baby. Okie came in to join me. And then here to here. Okay, so now it looks like that. So now our last corner is right here. Take this piece, make sure your lines are going the same way. Sew that one on. And that's it. And then we'll do 5 of the other color after this. Now I could have just done all of them at once, totally, and chain piece them all at once. I just wanted to show you the two separate designs for the video, so. All right, and then this one. How do I have extra? I may be cutting, I may have to go cut a couple extra of the gray. I don't know how I'm off on my numbers. So that's what our block looks like now after our second round. Back to our ironing. So we're going to cut this side down now. Look how, guys, look how pretty this is. I love the end result of this block. Okie, you stink. You're a stinky baby. All right. Oh, so pretty when you're done. Look at that block. Isn't that pretty? Love it. Okay. Let's do them all here. Thank you, guys. Again, you could use a rotary to do this, but for my setup, scissors just was more convenient. Okay, whoops. And that is our first set of little squares. Aren't they cute? Beautiful. All right, so now we're gonna do the blue and the gray. Same exact steps, same way. So here we go. I'm not going to use a regular pen. I felt like it was getting all over my stuff. So we're going to use this and hope it doesn't fade. All right, draw my lines. Now you get why I have to draw the lines. I wish I didn't have to, but I am not that good. I'm just not. I need to be counting 4, 5, 6. I have 2 right there, 6. I should have 20, but I don't know because I was off on my pink. 7. 8. Guys, I had to wake up at 5:30 this morning because we now have to get a kid off to high school and middle school. And it's rough. I'll definitely be needing a nap today. My body is not used to waking up that early anymore. Oh my goodness. I lost count because I started talking. Ay. Luckily, I have a bus they hop on, so I don't have to take them, but it's still a lot. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm too short. Okay, I need to go cut 2 gray squares real quick. I may have 2 cut already. Let me look. Haha, I do. Look at that. Bye, Allie. Have fun on your work call. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. So far, which is my favorite quilt block? Maybe this one. I really like this one. You loved last month's. I'm trying to think. I need to get mine all out. I forget which one last month was. They've all been so cute. Susan has done such a good job at finding quilt blocks. This is all Susan, you guys. All right. Let's sew these suckers on. I'm going to move my camera just a little bit because my chair was hitting it. Okay. There they go. More chain piecing. Okay. It's always such a learning curve after sitting at my industrial machines to come sit at a regular sewing machine. They are kind of very different. Hi, Marie. Question: if one sews 2 blocks all around, draws lines from corner to corner, then cut on the same corners? No, it wouldn't. You have to do 2 at a time. Because the way it's folded out and ironed, it lays over the first 2 seams. So you have to do it 2 and 2. Hopefully that answers. Yeah, because they overlap, so you can't just sew them all on at once. those of you who watch bag making videos, which is pretty much all of you, I think, I just came out with a new tutorial on the Adina shoulder bag from Knotted Threads Co. And I guess I didn't realize at the very end of the bag, you're supposed to do like a squish on it to give it its correct shape. I really like how mine turned out without it, but I guess you're supposed to squish it quite a bit at the end so that it keeps a certain shape. So make sure that you go watch the end of her video, and she kind of goes over that in her video if you watch it. I missed the memo, but it's still a great bag without the swish. Maybe I didn't ask it correctly. 2 blocks of the same size as the one in the middle. Sew around, draw lines, cut on lines, then iron. I'm not sure, Marie. I can't picture that in my head. Currently, I think that would give it a different end result. You could always practice on one and try it. Pretty sure that would just give you even, that would give you even like that. And that's what we did in, I think, last month's block. If I'm thinking correctly of what you're asking. Thank you, Annette. You're the best. So I'm going to cut and iron, and then we'll do the other corners. So we got that right now. Switch. Okay. This wool press mat is one of the best things I've ever bought. It is so handy to have in your sewing room. Hi, Tony. Hello, hello. Oh, for those people who wanted to do the Ohio Swag Dash coming up in September, we have a spot opening up. Somebody has to cancel. It was sold out, but so we have an opening. I don't know if it's Saturday or Sunday, But if you were interested in coming to the Swag Dash in Ohio and didn't get in, email Susan and I. I don't think anybody is on the wait list right now. So email us if you're interested, siahswagbags@gmail.com. Okay, so those are mine. Let's add the other side. Here we go. So now we want it going that way. No. Now we want it going. I'm like, that's not right. From corner to corner that way. There is a right and wrong way to do this. Okay, here. Whoops. Wrong button. All right, now we have this last corner here. Yay! And here. My lines are fading. I gotta hurry. Gotta hurry. Two more. My back has been hurting in this chair. I think just sitting in general. That's new. Yay. It's always something. All right, y'all. Let's cut and iron these, and then we'll put them all together. Yay! So this is what it looks like. We're gonna cut here. Cut here. And And then we're gonna iron them out. Look how pretty. All right, let's do it. Little bag. The last one. Did I catch up on orders? Annette? No. We got through a lot of orders yesterday. Jessica came down and we pumped out quite a few, but I still have about 40 more to go today. And I have to get them all out because I am leaving town tomorrow. So that's what I'll be doing the rest of the day. All right, so let's lay this block out. So these are gonna be here. And you kind of want, your seams to lay so they go together. I don't know how else to explain that, but all right, here, there, and there. She's cute. Boom. And like I said, depending on the materials you use and the colors and the prints, your block will look different. You also can just do this center one. Like I could just do a full blue floral block for this center one, and that even gives it a different look. I could do plain blue floral for these 5, and that would give it a different look. Like you can mix up this however you want to. Like totally up to you. Okay, so now I'm going to just grab my pieces and I'm going to start to sew these together. So I like to do these two, these two, these two, and then I add this one, and this one. That's how I like to do it, and then I do my rows. Okie dokie. So we're going to grab these two first, and I'm just going to try and line up your center seam as best you can there. And I'm going to clip that one first. And then I'll do this one. That didn't match up nice. Come on now. This one's a little off, but that's okay. It'll be made up for in that seam allowance. That one, and then I'll do this one. All right, So I'm going to take those to my machine and we're just going to, let's do it. Quarter-inch seam allowance. This block is a little off for me, it looks like. I think some of my pink blocks were a wonky size. Ay, ay, ay. All right, and then I'm going to iron these out and add the other one to it. So this one was up here. Or was it down here? I don't remember where it was at. That one was this one. This was this, so I want my seams to go nesting together. So I'm going to go this way. Looks pretty good. My point is a little off right there. Can't all be perfect. And that's why I'm a bag maker, I guess. My mom would have a heart attack. She'd be like, oh my gosh, your points are not on. My first one, my points, I think my pink squares were a little off on size. It'll be okay. Beautiful. Okay. So this goes here. This goes here. And this goes here. I'm trying to think if there's a way that these line up perfectly. I think you just kind of match up those seams at the crisscross area. Fawns and Porter, but they were too perfect and I am definitely not. Yeah, I've said before, I'm kind of like a scrappy quilter, right? I really like the scrappy type quilts where you just go for it. I have done many patterns though. I do like a good pattern. But if I really want to come down here and be creative, I'll do just a scrappy quilt. I feel like what we're doing here is a little bit of both, right? Because we're only doing 2 to 3 designs at a time of a block, and then we're kind of putting them all together. So it's somewhat of a scrappy quilt look, which I dig. I was looking for my knee lift. right, we've got our rows, and now we just need to sew our rows together. Not used to steam. All right. Oops. All right, so now we're gonna put this, this, and this. Let's do it. So if you ironed them right, these middle seams should nest together. They're good to go. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Okay, I'm going to iron that. Cute. And then this one. Trying to look, how long did that take us? 53 minutes, 54, so under an hour. And I talked at the beginning. That's pretty good. All right. I feel like the accuracy on my first block was a little better. But, you know, the smaller the pieces that you start to do and the more piecing together you start to do, the harder it is to be perfect. That is where my mom is expert quilter, because she is very much a perfectionist. Whoops. And I am not. Hi, Liz. Okay, guys. Let's see what we got. Which way did I iron? I ironed this way. Yay! Okay. There are my 2 August quilt blocks, you guys. Oh my goodness. Those are fun. I love this design. That was a lot of fun. Okay, we'll just do it on my face for a minute so you guys can see me. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining. Hopefully you guys, that was enough instruction. You understand how to put it together. Let me know if you have any comments or questions. As always, I am here to answer. And I mean, it's fun, right? I love piecing together quilts. I think it's so much fun. I'm really excited for December when we piece this all together. I think it's going to be awesome. I should lay out all of my different quilt blocks and kind of see how they all go together, because I've just been kind of randomly doing them all. So I think it's going to be fun though. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned this weekend, this coming weekend, for some Sewing the States. We've got some good ones coming. I'm really excited to meet some new people, see new things. It's going to be a blast. So stay tuned for all of that, and we'll try and do updates on when we're doing the videos. I think Susan knows. I don't. Susan always knows everything. I'll know when I need to. But yeah, so we're going to have fun doing that this weekend. So 3 different videos between Friday and Tuesday. All right. Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining. Have a fabulous Thursday day. Okay. Bye, everybody.